Cleopatra lived closer to the moon landing than to the construction of the pyramids. Nintendo was founded in 1889, and the Hornets once went 48-34. The last one is shocking. When you think of the Hornets, you think of losing. They went 40-34 a few years after the horrendous 7-59 season. Yeah, the same 7-59 season where they lost out on Anthony Davis. So, who is this 2015-2016 Hornets? Who were the players that were part of this shockingly good team? And where are they now? Well, we'll get into that. Before I get into the video, I need you guys to do me a favor. I need you to be sure to like, subscribe, and share the video with anyone who might like this type of content. Now let's get into the video. First off, we have Kemba Walker. The dude was the face of this franchise for almost a decade, and in this season, he was particularly good. Though he did make an all-star game, and spoiler alert, none of these guys actually made an all-star game, which makes this run even more shocking. In 81 games, he went nearly 43% from the field, put up nearly 21 points, 4.4 rebounds, 5.2 assists, and even got 1.5 steals in there. So overall, he was very productive, and this is before he hit his peak production. So imagine this Hornets team, if he had peaked a year earlier, they would have probably won 50 games. And yeah, what happened to Kemba Walker after this 2015-2016 season? Well, as we said, he peaked to his highest form. Then in 2019, he went to the Boston Celtics. He would bounce around a few NBA teams before playing overseas for a year in 2023. Next up, we have Jeremy Lin. Yeah, you remember him.
Lin for the win! Got
it! Lin was productive to this squad. However, by 2015, his Linsanity days were long gone. So, how did he do? In 78 games, he went 41.2 from the field, 11.7 points, 3.2 rebounds, and 3 assists. Not eye-popping stats, but still productive enough, and he played his part. So, after this season, Jeremy Lin would not stay with the Hornets. He would bounce around a few NBA teams, such as the Brooklyn Nets and the Atlanta Hawks, and he even played a season in China, but not for the Shanghai Sharks. So, next up on this list is Nicholas Batum, and he's actually the still active player. The only active player on this 2015-2016 Hornets roster, and man, while he wasn't an all-star, he did have a good role on this squad. He averaged 42.6% from the field, nearly 15 points, over 6 rebounds, and nearly 6 assists. That's quite good. He was probably the second best player on this squad after Kemba Walker, even if he had a high turnover rate. So, Batum is the only active player on this roster. So, how did his career pan out? Well, he would spend another few seasons with the Charlotte Hornets, and after that, he would go to the Clippers in 2020, and then in 2023, he would go to the 76ers, and now he's back with the Clippers. Yes, Michael Kidd-Gilchrist. He was the consolation prize for the tank for Anthony Davis. So, how did Anthony Davis' Kentucky teammate do? Okay, quickly, I'm going to show his career trajectory. He stays with the Hornets, but goes to Dallas in 2019. He was a 47.4% career shooter, which is, it's fine. He also signed a 4-year, $52 million extension. He only played 7 games, but when he was on the court, he shot 54.1% from the field, 42.9% from the 3, 12.7 points, 6.4 rebounds, and 1.3 assists. Again, he was injured, so he didn't produce much. Next up, we have Marvin Williams. At this point, Marvin Williams was a veteran. He played a ton of seasons with the Hawks and a few seasons with the Jazz, and he decent with the Hornets. In 81 games, he went 45.2 from the field, 40% from the three, 11.7 points, 6.4 rebounds, and 1.4 assists. A lot of these players had 6+ rebounds as I was researching this video. Marvin Williams was a pretty big contributor to this Hornets squad, and he would play a few more seasons with the Hornets, and then after playing a few more seasons with the Hornets, he would play half a season with the Milwaukee Bucks. Next up, we have Al Jefferson. Al Jefferson was a big star once, as you can see by his stat line. However, by 2015, he was a shell of his former self. For various reasons, he struggled to stay on the court, only playing 47 games. And in those 47 games, he went 45.2% from the field, 12 points, 6.4 rebounds, and 1.5 assists. He would then play a few more seasons with the Pacers before in 2018 going to play in China, and that too the most remote part of it. Next up, we have Cody Zeller, someone who was with the Hornets for a pretty long time, and in this season, he played in 73 games, where he went 52.9 field, 8.7 points, 6.2 rebounds, and an assist. Despite being a 4th overall pick, he never really blossomed into what the Hornets were expecting. He played his part with them until 2021, where he went to the Blazers. Then in 2023, he spent half a season with the Miami Heat. And then in 2023-24, he spent a season with the Pelicans. He even agreed to an extension with the Hornets. And yeah. Next up, we have Jeremy Lamb. Yes, this Jeremy Lamb. That clip was in 2019. Starting in 2019-20, he would spend 3 years with the Pacers, then 2 years with the Kings and their G League team. In the 2015-16 season, he played 66 games, shot 45% from the field, had nearly 9 points, nearly 4 rebounds, and 1.2 assists. Frank Kaminsky, the Charlotte's first-round pick in 2015. He was a Naismith Player of the Year with Wisconsin in 2015. Yes, he was basically college basketball's Heisman that year. So, how did he do in his first season? Well, in 81 games, he went 41% from the field, shot 7.5 points, 4.1 rebounds, and 1.2 assists. Not too impressive, but he was a rookie, a late lottery pick. Well, he didn't become a Hornets mainstay. He was mostly a journeyman, and by 2023, he was out of the NBA and playing overseas or in G League. And finally, a quick shout out to Courtney Lee. He was a mid-season trade from the Grizzlies who in 28 games shot 44.5% from the field, nearly 9 points, 3.1 rebounds, 2.1 assists, and 1.2 steals. The Hornets, who I mentioned previously, had no All-Stars, and here's all the stats laid out. You can go back, pause, and look at all these pages. And yeah, they went 48-34 and had themselves a date with Dwayne Wade and Bosh, who was out because of medical issues, Hassan Whiteside, a defensive monster, and Goran Dragic. In the first game, the Heat basically had their number. The Hornets were no match for them, and yeah, they got absolutely clobbered. In Game 2, Nicholas Batum was out, and the Heat, they won that game 2-0. Then Game 3 was back in Charlotte, and the Hornets completely swing the tempo. They started controlling the game. They were on fire, including an 18-0 run, and yeah, they won this game. And then in Game 4, they won 85-89. Kemba Walker, why, he was on fire with 34 points, and Jeremy Lin contributed with 21 points. Game 5, the Hornets took the momentum, and they kept this game pretty close. It was a back and forth affair for all 4 quarters, and then in the final few seconds of the game, the Hornets were up 90-88 when Wade tried to drive to the basket, but then may or may not have got fouled. It's your call. The Heat then took Game 6, 97-90. The Hornets were in it. Kemba Walker shot 37 points, so he shot under 50%, but that's fine. The Hornets kept this game pretty, and were down 5 in the beginning of the 4th. But with that being said, it was time for Game 7. To say this was an absolute beating, it would be an absolute understatement. The Heat had the Hornets number from the moment this game started, and boy oh boy, it wasn't even close. The Heat took full momentum of this game and shut the door before it could even be opened. Frank Kaminsky was the lead scorer, and this is his stat line. He shot 3 from 15. And here is the Heat's stats for this entire series. You can read them out loud. Wade and Waldang led with scoring with 19 points each, and Goran Dragic was not too far behind, 14 points and over 11 rebounds. Then there was Hassan Whiteside with over 3 blocks. This team, it was a menace. Now, let's look at the Hornets. Kemba Walker led with, he put up an absolute clinic. The only players to score above 10 points after him was Jeremy Lin, Al Jefferson, and Nicholas Batum. And had Batum not got injured, they could have won it. They were close in Game 6, but even then, they are absolutely not getting past the Toronto Raptors. But after the past few seasons, the Hornets season, this was a magical season for the Hornets, even though they won less than 50 games. They finished off 36-46 the next season, despite having a similar roster and Kemba Walker being an all-star and maintaining his peak form. The Hornets got to the same heights they achieved in 2016, but maybe with Brandon Miller, LaMelo Ball, if he could stay healthy, and non-Nuppo, they might be in the playoff discussion in the future. However, for that one season, the Hornets truly had something special. Thanks for watching.